She streamed the end. Now watch the sequel.
If you want to see a marriage die, just add Wi-Fi and ring lights. My name is Nate Barker, and 3 months ago, I thought I knew my wife. Turns out, I was married to a stranger with 47,000 Instagram followers and the moral compass of a reality TV producer. I'm sitting in what used to be our bedroom, watching Tessa arrange her phone on a tripod for the 3rd time today. She's got that look, the one that means she's about to monetize another piece of our private life for content. Her blonde hair catches the afternoon light streaming through our downtown Minneapolis apartment windows. And for a split second, I remember why I fell for her 5 years ago. Then, she opens her mouth. "Babe, can you move? You're casting a shadow on my setup." She doesn't look at me when she says it. Hasn't really looked at me in weeks, actually. Not since her business coach, Cole, started coming around. Cole Ramsey, my former college roommate, current snake in designer clothing, and apparently the answer to all of Tessa's entrepreneurial prayers. The guy who convinced her that her lifestyle blog could become a 7-figure empire if she just leveraged her authentic brand narrative. Translation: if she turned our marriage into a soap opera for the internet. Sure thing, I say, moving to the corner where I've been spending most of my time lately. Wouldn't want to interfere with authenticity. She misses the sarcasm entirely, already lost in her phone screen. I watch her practice her opening line. Something about major life updates and being true to yourself, and feel that familiar knot in my stomach tighten. My phone buzzes. Text from my brother Simon. Saw Tessa's story. She's really milking the drama, huh? I glance at Tessa's latest Instagram story. A cryptic post about difficult decisions and choosing happiness. The comments are already rolling in from her army of followers, mostly women in their 20s who think they know our marriage better than I do. Just wait, I text back. It gets worse. Because here's what Simon doesn't know. What none of them know. I found Tessa's calendar yesterday, left open on her laptop like she wanted me to see it. Thursday's entry, circled in red. Big reveal, IG Live. Dump Nate? Affirmative, Mark. Like she's still deciding whether destroying me publicly is worth the engagement numbers. The apartment we're fighting over isn't even ours. Well, it's mine. I'm the only one on the lease. But Tessa's been telling everyone it's our place for so long that she started believing her own fiction. She's got her friends Jenna and Liv convinced that I'm some kind of freeloader, riding her coattails to success. The irony would be funny if it wasn't so pathetic. I'm a commercial real estate broker. Not glamorous, but it pays well. Well enough to afford this place in the trendy warehouse district. Well enough to support Tessa's influencer dreams for 3 years while she built her following. But that doesn't make for good content, apparently. The narrative works better if I'm the dead weight she's finally ready to cut loose. Nate. Tessa's voice cuts through my thoughts. I need to talk to you. Recognize immigrants. Here we go. She's holding her phone, but the camera isn't on yet. Her expression is serious. The practice kind of serious she uses when she's about to deliver bad news to her audience. Except this time, I'm the audience. I think we both know this isn't working anymore, she says, like she's reading from a script. Maybe she is. This being our marriage? Menstrual. This being us pretending we're happy when we're clearly not. I almost laugh. Who's pretending, Tessa? You've been documenting our problems for the internet for months. If anyone's pretending, it's me. Pretending I don't mind being turned into content. Hezbollah, Aachen. That's not fair. My followers care about authenticity. They want to see real life, not some fake perfect marriage. Right. And Cole's been helping you figure out how to make our real life more entertaining? The mention of Cole's name hits like I knew it would. Her cheeks flush, but she recovers quickly. Cole is helping me build a business, something you've never understood. I understand plenty. I understand plenty. I understand with me much more videos. I understand with never left way to expected. My trans truth me to see the sometimes doesn't go to words. I understand plenty. I understand that he's been texting you at midnight. I understand that you're business meetings happen at wine bars. I understand that you light up when you talk about him in a way you haven't when talking about me in over a year. Sincerely. She looks away, and for a moment, I see a flicker of the woman I married. The one who used to laugh at my jokes, who used to care about more than likes and shares and brand partnerships. Maybe we just grew apart, she says quietly. Maybe. Or maybe you decided I wasn't interesting enough for your brand. That stings, and she knows it. Her eyes flash with something that might be guilt, or might just be annoyance. You know what? Fine. You want to make this about social media, about Cole? Go ahead. But the truth is, Nate, you've checked out. You come home, you eat dinner, you watch TV. When's the last time we did anything worth posting about? Shall the last time we did anything that wasn't about posting? We stare at each other across the living room, and I can see her calculating, weighing her words, considering her angles. Even now, even in this moment, she's thinking about how it'll play online. I want you to move out, she says finally. This is my apartment, Tessa. Our apartment. And I think I should stay. You can find somewhere else. The audacity is breathtaking, but also predictable. This is exactly what I expected. Exactly what I've been preparing for. When? I ask. Soon. This week, maybe. I'm going to tell my followers tomorrow night. On the live stream. And there it is. The real reason for this conversation. She's not leaving me. She's performing leaving me. For an audience of strangers who think they know us because they watch our breakfast routine on Instagram stories, you're going to live stream our breakup? Imprisoned. I'm going to be honest with my community about what's happening in my life. Right. And the fact that a public breakup will probably crash your engagement through the roof is just a coincidence. Her mask slips for just a second, and I see something ugly underneath. Ambition, maybe. Or just plain greed. My followers deserve to know the truth. Your followers don't know us, Tessa. They know the characters you've created. The struggling influencer and her unsupportive husband. Very compelling narrative. God, you're such a cynic. I'm a realist. There's a difference. She picks up her phone and I know our conversation is over. In Tessa's world, nothing exists unless it's documented. And she's got content to create. The live stream is tomorrow at 8, she says without looking up. I'd prefer if you weren't here. I bet you would. But I'm not going anywhere. In fact, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. Because Tessa's about to learn the difference between social media fiction and legal reality. And I'm going to enjoy every second of it. 24 hours later, I'm sitting in my home office. The small second bedroom that Tessa never shows on camera because it doesn't fit her aesthetic. Watching her prepare for the performance of her life. She's been at it for 2 hours. Hair, makeup, lighting setup, angle testing. She's changed outfits 3 times, settling on a casual but cute look that says, I'm vulnerable but strong, the kind of outfit that gets sympathy comments and brand partnership offers in equal measure. My phone is buzzing constantly. Word has gotten out somehow that tonight's live stream is going to be major. Tessa's been dropping hints all day. Cryptic stories, meaningful song lyrics, the kind of breadcrumb trail that influencers use to build anticipation. Simon texted an hour ago. Whatever happens tonight, don't let her make you look like the villain. Too late for that, I texted back, but maybe not too late for a plot twist. I can hear Tessa in the living room, doing her pre-stream ritual. She talks to herself when she's nervous, running through her talking points like an actor rehearsing lines. Tonight's theme seems to be choosing happiness and knowing your worth. At 7:55, I pour myself a scotch and settle into the corner of the living room, where I've been banished for the past few weeks. Tessa shoots me a look that could melt steel. I asked you not to be here, unless it's my apartment, I remind her. Besides, I wouldn't miss this for the world. She's trapped. She can't kick me out without causing a scene before she's ready, and she can't start the stream with us fighting. So she forces a smile and adjusts her ring light one more time. Hi, beautiful humans, she chirps as the viewer count climbs past 50, then 100, then 500. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I know I promised you something important, and I'm going to deliver. But first, let me just say how grateful I am for this community we've built together. I watch the comments roll in. Hearts and fire emojis. People guessing what her big announcement might be. Someone asks if she's pregnant. Someone else asks if she's getting a divorce. You guys know me so well, Tessa laughs, and it sounds almost genuine. You know I've always been honest with you about my life, my struggles, my journey. And tonight is no different. She glances at me, and I raise my glass in a mock toast. Her smile falters for just a second. Some of you have noticed that Nate hasn't been in my content as much lately, she continues. And some of you have asked if everything's okay. The truth is, it's not. The comment count explodes. I can see the viewer numbers climbing. 800, 900, over 1,000 people tuning in to watch my marriage end in real time. Marriage is hard, you guys. Really hard. And sometimes, no matter how much you love someone, you realize that you've grown into different people. You want different things. Shelley's good at this. I'll give her that. The perfect balance of sadness and strength, vulnerability and empowerment. Her followers are eating it up. Nate and I have been trying to make things work, but I think we both know it's time to be honest. About what we want, about who we are, about what makes us happy. Tell them about Cole, I say, loud enough for the microphone to pick up. Tessa freezes. The comments explode with confusion and speculation. Someone types, "Who's Cole?" in all caps. "Nate, please," she hisses, trying to keep her voice low. "No, go ahead," I say, standing up and walking into frame. "Tell them about your business coach. Tell them about the midnight texts and the wine bar meetings and the way you giggle when he calls." The viewer count hits 1,500. People are tagging their friends, sharing the stream. This is exactly the kind of drama that breaks the internet. "You're being ridiculous," Tessa says, but her voice is shaking now. "Am I?" Tell them about your calendar, Tessa. Tell them how you've been planning this moment for weeks. Tell them about the question mark after "dump Nate." First, she reaches for her phone, probably trying to end the stream, but it's too late. The damage is done. The comments are a blur of shocked faces and popcorn emojis, and people asking what's really going on. "You know what?" she says, and suddenly her voice is different, harder. The mask is coming off. "Fine. You want honesty? Here's honesty. Yes, I've been unhappy. Yes, I've been getting support from someone who actually believes in my dreams instead of just tolerating them. And yes, I think it's time for Nate to move out of our apartment so I can focus on building the life I actually want." I laugh, and it's not a nice sound. "Tessa, sweetheart, you might want to check the lease." "What?" Out my phone and hold it up to the camera. On the screen is a photo of our rental agreement. My name clearly visible as the sole tenant. "This is my apartment," I say to the camera, to the 2,000 people now watching this train wreck unfold. "I'm the only one on the lease. I pay the rent. Tessa's been living here as my guest for 2 years." The silence is deafening. Even the comments seem to pause for a moment as people process what they're seeing. That's not," Tessa stammers. "Not what you told your followers? Not what you told Cole? Not what you've been telling yourself?" I shake my head. "Here's some more honesty for your community, Tess. You don't own anything here. The furniture, the lease, the bills, all mine. You want me to move out? You're going to have to call the police." She's staring at me like she's never seen me before. Maybe she hasn't. Maybe the Nate she married was too nice, too accommodating, too willing to let her turn our life into content. "You can't just kick me out," she says. "Watch me." I walk to the front door and open it, then pull out my phone and dial building security. "Hi, Janice? It's Nate in 4B. I need someone to escort an unauthorized person out of my apartment." "Yes, she's been staying here, but she's not on the lease and I'm revoking her permission to be here. No violence, just drama. You'll be right up? Great." Tessa is staring at me in horror. The live stream is still going. The viewer count now over 2,500. And everyone is watching her perfect life crumble in real time. "You bastard," she whispers. "Smile for the camera, honey. Your followers are getting the authentic content they paid for." Minutes later, Janice from building security knocks on the door. She's a no-nonsense woman in her 50s who's seen every kind of tenant drama you can imagine. "Everything okay up here?" she asks, though she can clearly see it's not. "I need Ms. Peterson removed from my apartment," I say formally. She's not on the lease and no longer has permission to be here. Ma'am? Janice looks at Tessa, who's still holding her phone, still streaming, still frozen in shock. This is insane, Tessa finally manages. We're married. This is my home. Marriage doesn't give you legal rights to a property you're not on the lease for, Janice says matter-of-factly. Do you have somewhere else you can stay tonight? The question hangs in the air. Tessa looks around the apartment, at her ring lights, her camera equipment, her carefully curated backdrop, and I can see her realizing that none of it was ever really hers. I need to pack some things. You can come back tomorrow with an escort to get your belongings, I say. Tonight, you need to leave. The comments on the live stream are going insane. People are screen recording, sharing clips, turning this into the kind of viral moment that defines careers. Just not in the way Tessa planned. She looks at the camera one last time, and I almost feel sorry for her. Almost. I guess that's all for tonight, guys, she says, her voice barely above a whisper. I'll talk to you soon. She ends the stream and starts gathering her things. Her hands are shaking as she unplugs her equipment, stuffs her makeup into a bag, grabs a change of clothes from the bedroom. Where will you go? I ask, and I'm surprised to find I actually care about the answer. Kohl's, she says without looking at me. Of course. The business coach with the wine bar meetings and the midnight texts. Her soft landing, all lined up and ready. Tessa, I say as she heads for the door. She turns back and for a moment, she looks like the woman I married. Vulnerable, uncertain, human. This didn't have to happen like this. Yes, it did, she says quietly. We both know it did. And then she's gone, and I'm alone in my apartment for the first time in 2 years. I pour myself another scotch and sit down in the spot where Tessa's ring light used to be. My phone is buzzing with notifications. Texts from friends who saw the stream, social media mentions, even a few news outlets picking up the story. But I'm not thinking about any of that. I'm thinking about the look on Tessa's face when she realized that her perfect plan had just exploded in front of 2,500 witnesses. I'm thinking about Cole, probably watching the stream from his overpriced condo, realizing that his new girlfriend comes with a lot more baggage than he bargained for. And I'm thinking about the fact that this was just the opening move, because Tessa doesn't know about the real apartment yet. The penthouse I actually own. The one I bought 6 months ago when I first started suspecting this day would come. The one that makes this rental look like a college dorm room. She thinks she's seen me at my worst. She thinks this public humiliation is the end of the story. She has no idea what's coming next. The story goes viral overnight. #LiveDivorce trends on Twitter for 6 hours. TikTok is flooded with reaction videos and commentary. Someone makes a remix of Tessa saying, "Our apartment," followed by me saying, "Check the lease," set to a trap beat. It gets 3 million views in 12 hours. I wake up to 47 text messages, 19 missed calls, and a phone that's been buzzing nonstop since 6 a.m. The first text is from Simon. "Holy crap, dude. You broke the internet." The last one is from Cole. "We need to talk. I'm drinking coffee in my quiet apartment. God, the silence is beautiful." When my lawyer calls. "Angela Reeves," she says by way of greeting. She's the kind of lawyer who bills $800 an hour and earns every penny. Sharp as a blade and twice as cutting. "I assume you've seen the news. Hard to miss. Good, because your wife and her boyfriend are about to make this very interesting. They filed an emergency motion this morning claiming joint ownership of your rental property." I nearly choke on my coffee. What? They're claiming common law marriage gives her property rights, and they've submitted documentation showing she contributed to household expenses and improvements. That's insane. She's never paid rent. She's never even seen the lease agreement. Well, according to their filing, she has. They've submitted a copy of a lease amendment adding her name as a co-tenant, dated 6 months ago. The coffee tastes like ash in my mouth. That's impossible. It's also forged, but it's a very good forgery. Someone with access to legal documents and a decent printer could have pulled this off. Cole. It has to be. His business coaching company is just a front for whatever scheme he's running this week. Last I heard, he was helping people optimize their legal structures for maximum asset protection. Translation: he knows how to fake paperwork. How worried should I be? On a scale of 1 to 10, about a 3. The forgery is good, but it's still a forgery. The building management company has the original documents, and your bank records show you've been the sole rent payer for 2 years. But they're going to make some noise, and it's going to be expensive noise. How expensive? Far they want to take this. Could be $5,000 in legal fees. Could be $50,000 if they really want to fight. I think about Tessa's face last night when she realized she had nowhere to go. About Cole's text this morning. About the viral video of my marriage ending in real time. Let them fight, I say. I want to see how deep this rabbit hole goes. Nate, I have to ask you 50. Nate, I have to check out another neighbors in the room of the night's life. This is a good question. Nate, I have to give it 40,000 people. I think about how good completely marriage. Nate, I have to check that farther self. Nate, I have to check out another neighbors in the room of the night's life. Nate, I have to check them just 2 people to 10 to they. Nate, I have to ask you 50. Nate, I have to check out checked this part. Nate, I have to check out legals focus. Nate, I have to check out 50. Nate, I have to check that mostly. I have to ask. Are you sure you want to escalate this? Your wife is clearly going through something, and public humiliation might not be the best. She live-streamed our divorce to 2,500 people for content, Angela. She forged legal documents to try to steal my apartment. At what point do I get to stop being understanding? There's a pause. Fair enough. I'll file a response denying their claims and requesting an expedited hearing. Should be able to get in front of a judge by Friday. After I hang up, I sit in my kitchen and think about the next move. Tessa and Cole are playing checkers, but they don't realize I've been playing chess for months. The rental apartment was always a test. A way to see how far Tessa would go, how much she was willing to lie and manipulate to get what she wanted. She passed that test with flying colors. But they still don't know about the penthouse. My phone buzzes. Text from an unknown number. This is Cole. Meet me at Starbucks on Hennepin in an hour. We can settle this like adults. I stare at the message for a long moment, then type back, see you there. The Starbucks is crowded with the usual mix of college students and remote workers. Cole is sitting in the corner, wearing a designer hoodie that probably costs more than most people's rent. He's got that artificial tan that screams, I spend too much on self-care, and the kind of watch that's meant to impress people who don't know any better. He stands when he sees me, extending his hand like we're old friends meeting for a casual catch-up. Nate, man. Good to see you. Don't shake his hand. Cut the crap, Cole. What do you want? Falters, but he recovers quickly. Look, I know last night got a little heated, but we're all adults here. We can work this out. Work what out? The part where you convinced my wife to humiliate me on the internet? Or the part where you forged legal documents to try to steal my apartment? I don't know what you're talking about with any forged documents, he says, but his eyes give him away. And as for Tessa, she made her own choices. I just supported her. Right. Supported her right into your bed. He leans back in his chair, and for a second, I see the real Cole underneath the business coach persona. The guy who used to cheat on tests in college, who always had an angle, who treated other people like stepping stones to whatever he wanted next. Tessa's a grown woman, Nate. She can make her own decisions about who she wants to be with. And you can make your own decisions about forging lease agreements. I told you, I don't know anything about... I lean forward, Cole. I lean forward, lowering my voice. I've known you for 15 years. I know when you're lying. I know when you're running a con. And I know that you're in way over your head right now. His jaw tightens. What's that supposed to mean? It means that little stunt you pulled last night? That was just the opening act. You have no idea what you've gotten yourself into. Are you threatening me? I'm educating you. See, you think this is about an apartment. You think if you can steal my lease and move Tessa in, you win the game. But you're playing by the wrong rules. I pull out my phone and show him a photo. It's the view from my penthouse terrace. Downtown Minneapolis spread out below, the river winding through the city. The kind of view that costs 7 figures. His eyes widen. What is that? That's my actual apartment, Cole. The one I own. Not rent, own. The rental you're fighting over? That was just a test. A way to see how far you and Tessa were willing to go. At the photo, and I can see him recalculating everything. The timeline, the stakes, the game he thought he was playing. You're lying. Am I? You want to see the deed? The mortgage documents? The property tax records? I put my phone away. Here's what's going to happen, Cole. You're going to drop this legal challenge. You're going to admit the documents were forged, and you're going to disappear from my life and my wife's life. And if I don't, then I'm going to destroy you. Not just embarrass you, destroy you. Your business, your reputation, your social media presence, everything. I'll make last night look like a warm-up. We stare at each other across the small table, and I can see him weighing his options. Cole's always been a coward underneath the bravado, a small-time grifter who picked the wrong mark. You can't prove the documents were forged, he says finally. Can't I? Angela Reeves is very good at her job, Cole. Very thorough. And when she starts digging into your business practices, your tax returns, your client list, well, let's just say I don't think you'll like what she finds. His face goes pale. What do you want? I want you gone. Both of you. Out of my life, out of my city if possible. Find somewhere else to run your little schemes. Tessa won't just disappear. She's got a following here, a brand. Tessa's brand is about to take a very public nosedive. Did you see the comments on her stream last night? The reaction videos? She went from lifestyle influencer to internet cautionary tale in about 30 seconds. Her sponsors are already pulling out. It's true. I checked this morning. 3 brand partnerships canceled. Her management company dropped her, and her follower count is hemorrhaging. The internet loves a good scandal, but they don't love being lied to. Look, Cole says, and now he sounds desperate. Maybe we got a little carried away. Maybe we can work something out. Split the difference. There is no difference to split. There's my property, and there's everything else. You chose everything else. Stand up, leaving him sitting there with his expensive coffee and his cheap schemes. You've got until Friday's hearing to make this go away, Cole. After that, all bets are off. As I walk toward the door, I hear him call after me. This isn't over, Nate. I turn back, and I'm smiling. You're absolutely right. It's not. Because Cole still doesn't understand what he's really up against. He thinks this is about money, or property, or winning some kind of prize. He doesn't realize that this is about something much more valuable. The satisfaction of watching someone who tried to destroy your life get exactly what they deserve. And I'm just getting started. Friday morning arrives gray and cold. The kind of Minneapolis weather that makes you question why anyone chooses to live this far north. I'm sitting in Angela's office at 8 a.m., wearing my best suit and watching her review the case files one more time. They're going to fold, she says without looking up. Cole Ramsey's business license expired 6 months ago. He's got 2 outstanding warrants for unpaid parking tickets, and the lease forgery is so obvious that a first-year law student could spot it. What about Tessa? Your wife is in a difficult position. She can either admit she knew about the forgery and face potential criminal charges, or she can claim she was manipulated by her boyfriend and throw him under the bus. Which do you think she'll choose? Dismissal looks up from the files and smiles. It's not a warm smile. What would you choose? The hearing is scheduled for 10 a.m. in family court. I arrive at 9:45 to find Tessa and Cole huddled with a public defender who looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. Tessa's wearing a conservative dress and minimal makeup, the kind of look that says, responsible adult, instead of social media influencer. Cole's in an ill-fitting suit that probably came from Men's Warehouse. They both look like heck. All rise, the bailiff calls, and Judge Patricia Morrison enters the courtroom. She's in her 60s, with steel gray hair and the kind of expression that suggests she's seen every variety of human stupidity at least twice. This is an emergency motion regarding property rights, she says, settling behind the bench. Mr. Ramsey, Ms. Barker, you're claiming joint ownership of a rental property currently leased solely to Mr. Nathan Barker. Is that correct? Cole's lawyer stands up. Yes, Your Honor. My clients have submitted documentation showing that Miss Barker was added to the lease 6 months ago and has been contributing to household expenses. Mr. Barker's counsel, Angela rises smoothly. Your Honor, the document in question is a forgery. We have the original lease agreement from the property management company, bank records showing sole payment by Mr. Barker, and testimony from building management, confirming that only Mr. Barker is authorized to make changes to the lease. Judge Morrison examines the documents for what feels like an eternity. The courtroom is silent, except for the scratch of her pen and Cole's nervous breathing. Ms. Barker, the judge says finally, did you sign this lease amendment? Tessa stands up slowly. She glances at Cole, then at me, then back at the judge. I thought I did, Your Honor. You thought you did? I mean, Cole handled the paperwork. He said it was just a formality, to protect me legally. I signed some documents, but I didn't really read them carefully. See Cole's face go white. She's throwing him under the bus, just like Angela predicted. Mr. Ramsey, Judge Morrison's voice is ice cold. Did you prepare these documents? Cole's lawyer whispered something urgent there, self. Notice the 2040 Ramsey. Or Simley Management. Cole's looks like you're on. Mr. Ramsey, Cole's title at least leased to them. Judge Morrison's voice is ice cold. Judge Morrison's whispers something urgent there, self. Did you prepare these documents? Cole's handled the bus. Cole's lawyer whispers something urgent in his ear, but Cole shakes his head. Your Honor, I was just trying to help Tessa protect her interests. The lease situation was complicated, and I thought, unless Mr. Ramsey, did you or did you not forge a legal document and submit it to this court? The silence stretches out like a held breath. Cole looks around the courtroom like he's searching for an escape route. Yes, Your Honor, but I was trying to help. Iliation, bailiff, the word cuts through the courtroom like a blade. Within seconds, Cole is in handcuffs, his lawyer frantically trying to negotiate some kind of deal. Miss Barker, the judge continues, you have two choices. You can face charges as an accessory to document fraud, or you can cooperate with the investigation into Mr. Ramsey's activities. Theft is crying now, the kind of ugly crying that doesn't look good on camera. I'll cooperate, she whispers. Motion denied, Judge Morrison says. Mr. Nathan Barker retains sole rights to the rental property. Miss Barker, you have 72 hours to remove your belongings. Court is adjourned. The gavel falls like a thunderclap. Outside the courthouse, Tessa catches up with me on the steps. Nate, wait. I turn around. She looks smaller somehow, diminished. The confident influencer who live-streamed our breakup is gone, replaced by someone who looks lost and scared. What do you want, Tessa? I'm sorry about all of this, about Cole, about the documents, about the live stream. I got caught up in something, and I lost sight of what was important. What was important? Our marriage, what we built together. I study her face, looking for some sign of the woman I fell in love with. She's there, underneath the desperation and the fear, but she's buried pretty deep. We didn't build anything together, Tess. I built a life, and you turned it into content. There's a difference. That's not fair. It wins, isn't it? When's the last time we had a conversation that didn't end up on your Instagram story? When's the last time we did something together that you didn't photograph and caption and monetize? She doesn't have an answer for that. I can change, she says finally. I can be different, better. Maybe you can, but not with me. So that's it? 5 years of marriage, and you're just done? Think about the questions seriously. About the good times we had before the cameras and the followers, and the constant performance of happiness. About the woman who used to laugh at my jokes and make terrible breakfast puns, and fall asleep reading mystery novels. I'm not done with that woman, I say. But I don't think she exists anymore. I think she got lost somewhere between the first viral post and the 50th brand partnership. Tessa wipes her eyes with the back of her hand, smearing her carefully applied makeup. Where am I supposed to go? Cole's in jail? I don't have any money. My sponsors drop me. My followers think I'm a fraud. You'll figure it out. You always do. I start to walk away, then turn back. Tessa, for what it's worth, I hope you find whatever it is you're looking for. I just hope it's something real this time. Shields, she's still standing on the courthouse steps when I get in my car and drive away. Stemming, I'm in my real apartment, the penthouse that Cole and Tessa never knew about, opening a bottle of wine and watching the sunset paint the city gold and red. My phone has been buzzing all day with notifications, but I've been ignoring them. The story has taken on a life of its own. #LiveDivorce is trending again, but now it's mixed with #ForgedDocs and #InstagramScam. Someone leaked the court documents, and the internet is having a field day dissecting every detail of the case. Tessa's follower count has dropped from 47,000 to 12,000 in 3 days. Cole's business website has been taken down. The whole thing is collapsing like a house of cards in a hurricane. I should feel satisfied, vindicated, victorious. Instead, I feel empty. My phone rings. Simon. Hey, he says. Saw the news. You okay? I'm fine. You don't sound fine. I walk out onto the terrace and look down at the city lights beginning to twinkle in the gathering darkness. I won, Simon. Everything I wanted to happen, happened. Cole's in jail, Tessa's reputation is destroyed, and I've got my life back. But I don't know what to do with it now. There's a long pause. You know, Simon says finally, maybe that's not such a bad thing. Maybe having to rebuild is exactly what you need. Maybe. Besides, you're forgetting something important. What? And shit with it. Shit with it may be the case, Jenner. Maybe then exactly what you need. Besides, you're forgetting something important. Maybe, nothing something. Besides, you're forgetting something important. Unless, unresolved. That. You're free, Mayor. You're free, man. Really free. For the first time in 5 years, you get to decide what your life looks like without worrying about how it'll play online. He's right. I'm 40 years old. I own a penthouse in downtown Minneapolis. I have a successful career. And I'm finally, completely, totally free from the performance of happiness that my marriage had become. Thanks, Simon. And Nate, next time you fall in love, maybe pick someone who doesn't think your relationship is a business opportunity. Affirmed, I hang up. I pour myself another glass of wine and sit down at my piano, something I haven't touched in months because Tessa always complained it was too loud for her recordings. I play badly, my fingers stumbling over keys I used to know by heart. But it doesn't matter. There's no one here to judge my performance. No one to turn my mistakes into content. No one to document every moment of my life for strangers on the internet. For the first time in years, I'm completely, blissfully alone. And it feels like victory.